Good morning. We are going to wait about 1 or 2 more minutes, and we will begin the webinar. All right, we'll go ahead and start. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Potential Fairs presentation. My name is Edna Parr, and I'm the Community Engagement and Outreach Manager at CapMetro. So we look forward to discussing our fair programs with you today. Today we also have Nick Taliaferro and Grace Wen from the Community Engagement team. Before I kick it off over to them, they'll be doing the presentation today. I'll do a little bit of housekeeping and also an explanation in Spanish, and then I'll pass it on to them. So we do have live closed captioning available in English. You can turn this feature on by clicking the closed caption button in the Zoom meeting toolbar, which is located at the bottom middle of your screen. And we also have Spanish available for this meeting. So I'll do it in Spanish and I'll kick it over to Nick and Grace. Buenas tardes a todos. Quiero agradecerles por acompañarnos hoy para la presentación de tarifas potenciales. Mi nombre es Edna Paya y soy la gerente de alcance y participación de comunitaria en CapMetro. También tenemos aquí a Nick Taliaferro y Grace Wen del equipo de participación comunitaria, y esperamos discutir nuestros programas de tarifas con usted. Y si desea escuchar esta presentación en español, tenemos interpretación disponible. En sus computadoras, presionen el icono del globo en la parte de abajo de su pantalla. Si están en su teléfono o en tabletas, hagan clic en los 3 puntos. Seleccione más y seleccionen interpretación de idioma en español si está prefiriendo ese idioma ahorita. Y eso es todo. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros. Thank you again for being with us. And I will now pass it on to Grace and Nick. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. I'm Nick Taliaferro.
And I'm Grace Wen.
Thank you for joining us today. And yeah, do you just want to jump to the?
Yep. All right.
All right. So starting with our agenda for the day, we're going to cover 2 different proposed fare programs. One of them is called fare capping, and it's a new way to pay for rides and save money as you go, as well as a new potential fare category called Equifare that will be available to income eligible customers. And then we'll move on to the Title VI analysis, our community engagement and education efforts, and the next steps. So CapMetro wants to make our fares more equitable. We know that our customers pay for transit passes one at a time instead of taking advantage of the savings that come with day or monthly passes. Those passes can be cost prohibitive to our customers who ride the most because they cost a lot of money up front. And so folks aren't getting the savings that ultimately come with those passes because they're just paying for each ride as they go. So the agency has considered some 6 different strategic qualities here: equity, ridership, programs, technology, revenue, and fare structure. Equity addresses the transit affordability for low income and minority communities. Ridership encourages increased ridership while maintaining sustainable revenue stream. The programs maintain and create programs for various demographics. Examples are senior citizens, military, and employer sponsored. With technology, we want to make sure that we're encouraging contactless payment or other innovations and integrations. Revenue is we are looking to support equity in future fare adjustments in alignment with Project Connect's integrated financial model. And then in considering fare structure, we want to incorporate alternative fare structures, including capped fares for all riders. So, introducing fare capping. Fare capping limits how much you pay for all your trips in a day or a month. And what that really means is that customers never pay more than the total cost of a day pass in a calendar day, or never pay more than the total cost of a monthly pass in a calendar month.
All right, so how does fare capping work? Fare capping starts with one component called the daily cap. This means that when you pay for 2 single rides in one day, each at $1.25, you'll earn your daily cap and ride free for the rest of the day. So to summarize, your daily spending with fare capping is capped or limited at $2.50 total. So you can see below, there's an example of how fare capping works. Suppose that on your ride to work, you take 2 different bus routes. You make a transfer. When you make your first ride, you pay $1.25. When you make your second bus ride, you board the second bus, you pay another $1.25. Now that you've paid $2.50 total, you've reached your daily cap. And if you ride another time or a 4th time or a 5th time, all of those rides will be free and you won't be paying any additional fares. So we can illustrate this in an example. On the next slide. Oh, here we are. It was a little slow. So take, for example, Victoria, who has a commute to work that requires a transfer from one bus to the next. So every morning she rides 2 buses, and on the way home she rides 2 buses. If we're ignoring any other trips, like if she needs to make a side trip or go to lunch. So by paying for the first 2 rides in the day, Victoria earns her daily cap before 9 a.m. since she takes 2 buses to work. Now that she's paid her $2.50, she'll ride free on the way home, even though she'll take another 2 buses. So this means that instead of paying $5 per day for her round trip ticket or her round trip, she'll only pay $2.50 a day. Go to the next slide. We have an additional type of fare capping, which is the monthly cap. So when you pay for 33 single rides in a calendar month, so between something like June 1st and June 30th, you can earn a monthly cap and ride free for the rest of the month. How this works is that it caps your spending for the month at $41.21 or 25 cents total. So a monthly cap consists of 33 paid rides, and it includes about 17 days of riding if you're riding regularly, so twice a day or more every day. The benefit of this is that once you've paid for those 33 single rides, you can ride for up to 14 days free per calendar month, depending on the day that you achieve your monthly cap.
So you're saying that if I ride 17 days in a row, I don't have to pay for the rest of the month?
You do not. It is very simple, and it's for primarily if you're a daily rider or you're riding frequently throughout the month. This helps you limit your spending if you can't afford a monthly pass upfront, which is about the same price. So instead of paying for all of that monthly pass upfront, you can contribute towards it with every single ride, and you only have to pay for as much as you use, but then you get more free.
That's awesome.
Yes. And here is a fun example of how the monthly cap could work for someone like Victoria, who is a daily rider. She takes the bus on weekends too, whether it's for her kids' soccer games or to go to the grocery store. She's riding the bus every day. So by the 17th day of the month, as you can see on the calendar, Victoria will earn her monthly cap and ride free for the rest of the month. And maybe Victoria can't afford to pay for her monthly cap up front, and she would have been paying her fares every day if there wasn't monthly fare capping for her. And if there wasn't monthly fare capping, she might pay $2.50 every day for all of the days of the month, which would total to a payment of $75 total to ride across the month if she wasn't able to cap her fare. So with the monthly fare cap, Victoria is able to save more than $30 if she can't afford to pay for a monthly pass upfront and with fare capping. She can earn towards that monthly cap and ride free for the second half of the month. So how do you get fare capping?
So fare capping is available through AMP, which is either a physical card or using the CapMetro app. And you can load money to your account. This is called a stored value. And so you would load that either to your physical card or to your CapMetro app. And when you ride, you will either tap your card or scan your app to pay from your stored value, reducing your balance by the cost of a single ride. So say that you load $5, each time you ride, it will take $1.25 from that $5. And then you can continue to load either on your card at one of 250 participating retailers, at our transit store, or online. And then through the app, you have to attach a credit card. And so you would just reload using the credit card that's on file in the CapMetro app. And then the AMP program tracks how many single rides you pay for, which earns your daily or monthly cap. And you can't use fare capping without AMP. Mm-hmm. So you have to have AMP, whether that's the card or the CapMetro app, in order to participate and get the benefits of fare capping. So why use AMP versus just using a daily pass? So AMP is a reloadable card or app to store value, allowing you to pay as you ride. AMP tracks your rides so that you can earn that daily or monthly cap, and you save money by riding free after reaching your daily or monthly cap. Whereas the paper card has a set value and a limited use. You use it for either the single ride or the day pass or the monthly pass, but you don't use it outside of that. And once it's been used, it's finished. Whereas the AMP card is reusable and reloadable. The pass also doesn't participate in fare capping, and you don't get free rides, unfortunately, with just a regular paper pass.
How does this work for people that pay at the fare box with cash?
That is a great question. So folks who are paying with cash also don't participate in AMP, but they can put that cash onto their AMP card by taking that cash to one of the 250 participating locations or to the transit store to load that money onto their card. And then they would end up saving money by having it, you would earn the fare capping, or you would earn the daily or monthly cap on your AMP card. But unfortunately, with the paper pass or with cash, there's nothing to track your rides, but the AMP card or AMP app track your rides. And so that's how it can tell to save you money.
That's great, but it doesn't change how much I'll pay at the fare box, right?
No, nope, all the same cost.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's what I like to hear.
Yes. So the card versus the app, lots of choices here. So the physical card, you would get a card, which we'll be handing out via street teams, pop-up events, partnerships, as well as through an online portal, as well as also at the CapMetro Transit store. So you get a card, and then you register your card or don't. It's optional to register, but you want to register ideally because it recovers your stored value if you lose your card. So say that you've put $25 onto your card. If you lose your card, you lose that $25. There isn't any other way to recover it unless you've registered your AMP account. And then they can issue you another card and give you that $25 back. So you load your initial funds and then use the card to pay as you go and earn daily or monthly caps. reload your card online or use cash at a retail store or the transit store, and then you continue paying as you go. Now with the CapMetro app, so that's where you can access your virtual card, which will be on a new version of the CapMetro app, and you will register your account and tie a credit card to your AMP account in the app. It will immediately ask you to tie a credit card. And this is how you can store value. And so rather than pulling directly from your card, you will have to reload the amount that you want to put on your virtual card each time. And then you can use your app to pay as you go and earn a daily or monthly cap, and reload your app with the attached credit card and continue paying as you go.
Can you use both the physical card and the virtual card?
No. So you do have to choose either the physical card or the virtual card. Okay. And so it's important to think about how you ride and what you most readily have on you, as well as things like, do you want to have a credit card attached, or do you usually pay in cash? If you're usually paying in cash, you probably would want to use a physical card because you are going to be able to reload with cash at those different participating retailers. Whereas with the virtual card, you'll attach a credit card and then just scan your app as you ride. And here is a map of the retailers that are available. It will be at 7-Elevens, Dollar Generals, CVS's, Family Dollars, and Walgreens, in addition to the online portal and transit store. And this will be an interactive map that will provide to customers in the rollout. And then you will just be able to tap with a smart card in order to use the money that you've placed onto your card at one of these retailers.
All right, so we're just going to put all of these pieces together, AMP and fare capping, because we know there are many steps, and it's great to see it as a process. So Victoria has a friend named Jeremy, and he wants to save on his commute like he's seen Victoria do. So he decides to register for an AMP account, and he requests a physical AMP card online because he knows that he is more likely to carry the physical card with him and pay that way and upload money in person. So now that he has his physical card, he takes it to his local 7-Eleven in his neighborhood and loads $5 to the stored value on his account in that store. So now for tracking on the left, his AMP card and AMP account has $5 in stored value. The next day, he decides to use his card to ride the Metro bus to work. So as he enters the bus, he takes his card and taps it against the fare box to pay for a single ride. And what this does is reduce his balance from $5 to $3.75, since the cost of a single ride is $1.25. So now he has $3.75 remaining on his AMP account that he can use anytime. So if he doesn't ride at all for the rest of the day, he's only spent $1.25, and there's no additional payment. That $3.75 still exists. But on the way home, he decides to ride one more time, and he taps his card against the fare box. And now that he has paid a second time, his daily total spending is equal to $2.50, and he's earned his daily cap. So any other rides he takes in the day will be free. So he still has $2.50 in his stored value on his AMP account. And maybe that's good for tomorrow, but maybe he also knows he'll ride the rest of the week. He is able to go online or to a retailer or to the transit store to load more money onto that card and into his AMP account as he has it. One really great thing about the AMP account and stored value is that once you start using it, or if you don't use it at all, the value still exists. It's kind of evergreen. So if you ride once in a month, but you've put $5 on your AMP account, that will exist next month and the month after if it's not being used. It doesn't disappear like a paper pass might if you only use it one time and forget to use it a second time or something like that. It's not constrained by time. So what else does AMP do?
So in addition to fare capping, AMP also gives eligible customers access to our 2 discounted fare programs. Our current fare program, or our current reduced fare program, excuse me, provides 50% off of the standard fare transit passes for seniors 65 and older, Medicare card holders, active duty military personnel, and riders with disabilities. But we are also proposing a new fare category called Equifare that will be available for income eligible riders. So what is Equifare? Equifare is a potential fare program that offers discounted fares to eligible customers. And eligible customers may apply online or at the transit store. And once they enroll, they will receive a discounted fare through the AMP account, through that physical card or through the app. And Equifare customers will also be able to take advantage of fare capping, adding additional savings for riders each month. So here are the current fare categories. The standard fare you can see in the table here under standard. It's that 125 we've been talking about. And then the reduced fare is 50% of that. And so that for a single ride is 60 cents. And again, reduced fare members will also be able to benefit from fare capping using AMP, but not without AMP. So in addition to that, let's look at what the proposed structure is here for Equifare. So this would be 25 cents off. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. What is the actual fraction here? It's not.
It's 20% off.
It's 20% off. Thank you. Great. It's 20% off. And that is for customers who fall below 200% of the federal poverty level and who qualify already for some of our other social programs.
Mm-hmm. But I just want to clarify, reduced fare isn't going away. Equifare is just an addition. There are 3 categories now?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
And so as we think about how people should qualify for our Equifare program, we're looking at potential programs that could verify eligibility. Those include a lot of social service programs like Medicaid or SNAP or CHIP or MAP. We have some listed here. This is not the only list. There are more that we are considering. But in addition to these programs, because not everyone that qualifies for this program can necessarily afford a full fare, we are also making sure that this is available to people whose household income is less than 200% of the federal poverty level. So in the chart on the right, you can see what that poverty limit looks like for different sized families and at the 200% level. So there will be a lot of people that are eligible in addition that may not have enrollment in the Medicaid program or in SNAP, but would still qualify for Equifare. So as we're looking at Equifare and how to make sure that all of the people who need to be enrolled are enrolled, here are some potential best practices that we're considering based on conversations with community partners and community-based organizations and some of the feedback we've received on public input and through our sessions like this. We want to make sure that people are able to self-verify, which is an honor-based system, so people don't have to automatically give us their income verification documents. We will trust that they are someone that needs Equifare and is eligible to enroll, with the exception that there may be an audit at some point in the future where we just ensure that people who need Equifare are getting it and are enrolled. And we're trying to make sure that this is available and easy for everyone who wants to be enrolled using online enrollment and applications. So we're researching how we can create an application that gets all of the information it needs, but is also easy and accessible for many different types of people. We're also hoping to enroll people in pop-up events, to create easy income verification documents, and to partner with other organizations and social services to make sure that it is easy for people to verify and receive support as they enroll. And we also want to make sure that people enrolled in Equifare aren't having to resubmit or reapply frequently. So we want to keep a 24-month rolling enrollment period where you will not have to submit any documents or verify or apply again. But something we want to do is we want to hear from you as we consider the different best practices for Equifare. So this is why we're having community meetings and having these information sessions, is because we have these questions around enrollment and considerations, in addition to educating about our program fare capping. So what do we need to consider as we're thinking about the enrollment process for getting people enrolled in Equifare? What are some organizations or groups that we as CapMetro can partner with to make the rollout of Equifare and fare capping easy and intuitive for community members? And additionally, if you are attending and you're part of a CapMetro partner agency or a nonprofit or neighborhood association or some community-related organization, we want to hear from you and potentially set up additional meetings to help enroll your clients or to talk about what needs your clients have. And additionally, as we always consider, we want to know what communities or parts of our community in Austin will be most impacted by these changes and may need additional support or consideration. So this is something that we're opening up to the community and opening up to the people in this meeting as an opportunity for feedback, whether it's now or if you want to email us and set up a separate time. These are the questions we're exploring in this period. But we've also completed something very exciting.
Yes, so our partners at 4.9 have completed our Title VI analysis to see if low income and minority customers would be unduly impacted by fare capping or Equifare, and the result uncovered that there are no Title VI equity impacts. The average fare analysis findings, the system-wide change resulted in less than 1% difference between minority and non-minority customers and between low-income and non-low-income riders within 2% of the CapMetro threshold. And then the retail access analysis findings, the proposed reload locations, those 250 retailers, are expected to benefit minority and low income customers to a greater degree than non-minority and non-low income customers. And so what they found is that there aren't any deserts there aren't any 7-Elevens or Family Dollars or Walgreens, et cetera, that the folks who need to be able to load with cash onto a card, the folks who are most likely to do that we already know are likely to do that with our stored value program, are able to get to easily access those different locations. And they are not impacted by private retailers' decision to not participate in CapMetro distribution.
So if I want to read more about this, where can I find that?
Yes, so at capmetro.org/fare-programs, you can find the entire Title VI analysis and the rest of the findings from our partners at 4.9. So how are we getting the word out about all of this? We are doing extensive community engagement and partnerships. Our team with community engagement has already been partnering with a number of community organizations and leaders to support the implementation of new fare programs. We are meeting with community-based organizations who are helping us not only let people know and educate about these programs, but also get feedback about how we can create best practices around eligibility, enrollment, and implementation. We're working with nonprofits and agencies that provide housing, healthcare, education, and unhoused services, including foundation communities, Austin Area Urban League, Casa Marianella, ECHO, and many more. If you have other organizations that you are a part of or that you are particularly passionate about making sure that we partner with, please let us know. Definitely drop that in the comments so that we can make sure that we're getting in touch with anyone and everyone who can help us create these programs and then also help reach and get people enrolled who will benefit from them. We are also doing extensive communications along with the community engagement. There is a web page, social media, the retailer map will be made available, putting flyers and other messaging on our vehicles, putting out email and also a feedback page via a platform called Public Input. We are doing Spanish language media on Univision and El Mundo, We're doing at-staff outreach, in-person events. As we said, lots of agency and nonprofit one-on-one meetings, and meeting with other partners and committees, as well as doing extensive internal engagement, making sure that our frontline and administrative staff, our customer care, know all about these programs and can help people who are using them live for the first time or have questions about how to get enrolled. What are our next steps, Grace?
Yes, so as we said at the beginning of the program, Fair Capping and Equifare are potential programs. They're not set in stone yet. So we will be presenting these programs to the board of CapMetro on July 29th, so about a month from now. And in that process, as we lead up to this board approval or potential board approval, we're continuing to conduct virtual meetings like this. We're gathering input from board advisory committees and DEI advisory groups. We're also meeting with staff across the city of Austin and Travis County to make sure that we have the right input on processes for making sure customers are eligible and enrolled in Equifare. And we're also making sure to get out into the community through different events, or July 25th, my apologies, that was a typo. July 25th is the board presentation. We're engaging with customers on transit activations and monthly Meet CapMetro events. So if you want to stop by and come see us, we can send more information. And we're also beginning these discussions, as we've stated, with social service organizations on how to engage clients and enroll them in the process, starting with a pilot program that we will potentially start in August as or if the board approves these programs, with the potential launch for the full programs in January of next year. And again, we're exploring things like database integration to make eligibility and enrollment for Equifare more simple. So if someone qualifies for a different social service program, they may be able to auto-enroll, but these are just opportunities and integrations we are exploring to just reduce the burden on our community members. So as we're looking forward, we do appreciate the time that you've spent with us today. You are also able to share your program feedback, if not in this meeting, on our public input website. The link is there listed on the screen, and someone can probably send that in the chat for you. And we're also happy to take questions or set up a meeting with you or a community organization you know if you reach out to us at the engage@capmetro.org email address. Thank you so much, and I will bring Edna back in to open up for Q&A if we've got questions. Or anyone else on the panel, if we've got questions, I can check the chat or check our Q&A.
No, we don't have any questions. Give everybody like one more minute. Thank you. That was really great. Yeah, we only have the webinar going to be available on our website. And I said it would be available both in our CapMetro Fairs website and also our public input site later this week. And there's one already on there, but we're going to switch it out to this one later this week. Yeah, and no questions are coming in, so you guys want to wrap it up?
We just had a question pop up in the Q&A. The question was, how would these fairs be incorporated into other Project Connect projects? Edna, that might be a good question for you.
Well, right now we're not looking at fairs for Project Connect. I do know that fairs would align to whatever the board has decided for fairs for local or commuter. And also, as of right now, fares for the rail would be the same as fares for the bus. And that's as of right now. But once those start, developing, those projects start developing, then a similar project like this would go be done for Project Connect or anything else that we need to do community engagement for.
All right, we are open for other questions if you have them. We'll just give it another second and then we'll wrap up. All right.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
again.
joining us today. We appreciate it.
Yeah.